Why in the world would I want to have a woman who has compared or is going to compare me or Q or anybody else to other men that they've slept with? Why is that a good idea? That seems like a really bad mating strategy, right? Why would I want that?
I would never compare my husband with any guy who has slept in my past or future or I mean, I have
okay. Tell me some more bullshit. I've never made a comparison between these two men. Yeah, okay. Whatever you say. Yeah. I believe you.
So you have no ranking of sex when it comes to men? Like you've never... Would you tell your husband you're the best I've ever had?
He is.
Well, that's comparing, isn't it?
No, I just said.
Yeah, that's a comparison right there.
If I had sex before
You're the best I've ever had. So that means you, as opposed to all these other men, are the very best. So you're making a comparison right there. Q's absolutely right.
That's a comparison.
I mean, I would say the same if I hadn't had sex with someone before. I would say, like, you're the
right.
best.
Well, wait, hang on. So if you'd never had sex with another man before, you'd still say that he was the best, right?
Yeah.
Well, then I don't understand your argument.
So nothing would change if
then what's the problem here?
I didn't see it. I didn't say it's a problem.
It sounds like there's no problem. It sounds like if you had never had sex with another man except your husband, you'd be totally satisfied, right?
I would be, and I wouldn't compare him. And
would your husband be insecure?
No.
Oh, okay, fair enough. And would your husband be insecure if he had you as a virgin and you had never had another man, and he said that he preferred that? Would that be insecurity?
I mean, you never know. Maybe he would be afraid that I'm like missing something because I didn't have the experience.
Oh yeah, he'd send you out in the wilderness so that you could go get some more, so that you could get the necessary requisite experience, so he knew that you weren't missing out. Does that even sound rational to you? Go out to the forest, receiveth the dicketh, so that we know that you're not missing out on anything. Does that even sound reasonable?
No, you asked.
No, of course not. It's ridiculous, right? It's ridiculous.
Cock forest.
You asked if it's possible.
Is there a cock tundra, by the way? Is there like a cock tundra or like a fucking,
different climates?
Go out to the cock wilderness. You must experience all of the so that I know that you're not missing out. Said no man ever in the history of all men who have ever lived.
I'm sure it happened.
Swamp, maybe?
Wait, so let me ask the ladies, do any of you believe in the idea that you have to have sex to see what you like? Like you have to experiment with multiple men, experiment with multiple men to see what you like. Do any of y'all subscribe to that idea? No.
I don't.
Okay. I just was curious.
No, I just say that if you are not happy, not satisfied, that you like, if you had sex before or not.
Devon Jackson donated $69. If men lose faith in the loyalty of women, they are going to lose the desire to protect and provide for them, which is why soy boys like XQC would send his girl to deal with intruders, the new norm.
Devon Jackson, good to see you in the chat, man. I actually think you should send her, though, to be honest.
Techno Trooper donated $69. Ladies, how many past partners would be too many for you to feel comfortable with your boyfriend having?
We'll go around on that really quick. How many past partners would be too many for you to feel comfortable with your boyfriend having? Into the mic.
I've never had that conversation with a partner.
Would a million be too much?
A million would be too much.
Okay, let's walk it down then. 100,000.
100,000 would be too much.
1,000.
1,000 would be too much.
100.
100 would probably be too much.
Okay, so more than 50?
Probably 50 to 100.
That's okay. So after 50, that's where you get uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
I wouldn't care. I mean, when I care about one, why shouldn't I don't care about many, so I don't care. There's no
1,000.
Don't care.
A million.
Don't
Fuck
care.
the million women.
Don't care. Absolutely. Don't care.
He's got mega herpes, mega HIV.
No. We have tests. You can test.
I'm sorry. If you 100, if you a million women, you're getting something. You're getting something.
then get tested, and if I know about it, then I mean that would be a problem.
He's
but we don't take
asymptomatic.
about that.
He's asymptomatic, and you get a false negative. Boom. You now have herpes. Congratulations.
I don't care.
A million?
No.
She a million. Okay.
I don't care.
Well, for me personally,
What's too much?
Oh, I mean, I would have to understand, or like if they were in a relationship, that's fine. But if it was just like randomless hookups, then that would signify to me that they are not like in a place to be in a relationship that I could consider healthy for myself personally. So it would have to be in the context of maybe under 20, considering I'm 30. I don't know, maybe 10, between 10 and 20.
Sure.
Yeah.
100.
100?
So I think mine comes to like the discipline answer I said earlier. Like if you have 1,000 women that throw themselves at you and you sleep with all 1,000 of them, I think you're disgusting. But if you like have 100,000 women that threw themselves at you and you slept with 1,000, like you're kind of disciplined. You didn't sleep with all of them, you know? Like ideally though, I wouldn't want somebody to sleep with that many people, but like I think it just depends on how many you were offered and how many you took the time to sleep with.
I actually think that that's a pretty good answer.
Me too.
So,
Me too.
I think from your end that this makes sense. I don't think that women care very much about a man's body count, to be honest. The more that I've discussed this topic with women, and there is some empirical data for this. Of course, not too many people are diving into who cares about what other than kind of polls like from Pew and other places like this. But generally speaking, they don't seem to care very much. Men seem to care far more than women do. In fact, I've heard the opposite from women, that if a man is 30 or 35 and a virgin, they think that there's something wrong with him. They go, what the hell is wrong with you that a woman doesn't desire you at that age? They actually hold it against him. But I've never heard it in the opposite. I've never heard men say that they hold it against a woman for staying chaste or, into her late 20s, 30s. I've never heard that.
And let me just add to your point, Andrew. Actually, experientially, some women will say that they care, but I think they're just trying to be politically correct because of like egalitarian narratives and bullshit like that. But I've never actually had a woman really ask me my body count, and I've never really had a woman tell me, oh no, like I can't sleep with you because of XYZ. Typically they just tell me like, oh, you're kind of a man whore, or you're kind of a man thought, and then they laugh it off, and then we continue dating and dealing with one another. And that's about the extent of any, criticism that I get from them. Not saying that I'm actually a man whore.
I've always wanted to ask you this, because you study this nonstop, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that the penetrative factor is a big reason for this?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's rooted in the penetrative factor because, I mean, when you look at the act of sex, it's like a woman is being sexually dominated by a man. Like the man is going inside of her and he's doing whatever he wants to her. I mean, anytime you sleep with a woman, you're doing whatever you want to her, and she's yours in that moment. She's calling you different things. She's telling you to own it. She's telling you how she wants it. She's telling you all of these things. So the thought that she would even allow a certain amount of men to do that to her would just be off-putting to any man who has a brain that operates as normally as it should be operating. Yeah. It's the penetrative.
I appreciate the answer there, man. I've always been curious, and here's why. Because I don't hear men say this very much. I don't hear them say that they don't want a woman who has former same-sex relationships. They don't seem to care, right? So men go, okay, if you were a lesbian, I don't care. If you've gone, if you've done things with women, I don't care. But women seem to care a great deal if men have had a same-sex relationship at all. And when I ask them, they seem to allude to the penetrative factor. And so I just, I was just curious.
No, you're right. And it's funny as hell when you put it like that, because every woman wants to feel like she's with a masculine man. So if a man tells a woman like, yeah, I've been bent over before, or the man been to prison and, he got raped in prison, then she's going to look at him like, you're a bitch.
I know a guy that happened to. His name is Wes.
Oh, boy.
I knew where he was going.
Anyway.
I knew where he was going. But yeah, it's definitely the penetrative factor. That shit sets a man off. That's the trigger.